Hi Stampers, this is Kim with Great Inspirations. Thank you for joining me today. I thought we would take a look at a new stamp set that's found in the Stampin' Up! January through April 2023 mini catalog. And that stamp set is called TACO FIESTA. And this is the stamp set I used to create these 4 cards. The stamp set has some fun images as well as some sentiments that are word plays and puns. For example, you spice up my life. Your nacho average friend. Holy guacamole, it's your birthday. Spectacular, and long time no taco. So I think this stamp set could be used for a lot of occasions. And the cards I've made today, 3 are birthday cards. 1 is a special birthday card for someone I know who's turning 60 today, actually. And another one of the cards is an anniversary card. And the way I was able to do that is I used some masking. I used some masking not only on the images to create the look of one cactus behind the other, but I also used masking on the sentiment. Because this sentiment, the holy guacamole, as I just read to you, actually says, holy guacamole, it's your birthday. But I wanted the holy guacamole to be alone on the outside of the cards. And then on the inside, I changed it up a bit. For example, for this one, holy guacamole, it's your anniversary. So I used the holy guacamole and it's your for that card. And for this card, the holy guacamole, and you open it up, it's your 60th birthday. Happy birthday. So the it's your and the birthday came from the holy guacamole sentiment. The 60th came from a stamp set that is called Labeler Alphabet that is now retired. I used my black marker for the TH for 60th, and this happy birthday is from a stamp set that is also in the new mini catalog, and it's called Best Day. And there's the happy birthday right there. So let's see, these 2 middle cards, I believe I just have holy guacamole, it's your birthday, and again happy birthday, and I believe this one is similar. The holy guacamole, yeah, it's your birthday, happy birthday. So as I said, I did some masking on the sentiment and on these 2 on the images. So I thought we would walk through how to do both of those masking techniques. We'll start with, let's pull out. We'll start with how to make one image look as though it's behind the other image. And something I like to use to do this is called masking paper. And here it is. Stampin' Up! This was new in the annual catalog. It's sheets of 5x7 paper. You get 12 of them. And there's one side that is a backing, and this side of the paper has a slightly sticky backing on it. And it does not come in this stamp case. I'll show you where you can get that. In the annual catalog, on page 149, you will find the stamp cases. You can purchase them. They're empty. And they come in, let's see, a set of 4 for $8.50. And I use these for all kinds of storage, but it was just perfect for the masking paper. And then the masking paper is also found on page 149 of the annual catalog. And it's right here. There's the stamp cases, and here's the masking paper. You can also find them on the Stampin' Up! Online store. Now on my blog there will be links to the online store. There will be also information on all these cards and on masking, and the link to that blog post will be found in the description of this video. Now let's go on with the how to mask to make one item look as though it's behind the other. So I have a piece of masking paper right here. We want to make sure that we are going to stamp on the side that's not quite so slick. You'll be able to tell the difference. It's really easy. Let me bring in this craft sheet so you'll be able to see better. There you go. And I'm going to take our image, the cactus image, and some ink. Ink up that image. And we're going to just stamp it. And so it's stamped, and now we're going to take some scissors. And you know, when we're fussy cutting, we like to leave a little border around things. But when you make your mask, you want to cut right against the stamped line, right against it. Just go on around. Just keep following. I'll come back and get that later. Just keep going around on the line. And there's that. And I will save this for another smaller image that I may want to mask. So that masking paper, it does tend to go a long way. I've only, I don't know, it's been almost a year and I haven't even gone through one package yet. I'm getting there, but I haven't quite gone through the package. So there's our mask, and we want to remove the backing. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes not so easy. I kind of fold a corner a little bit, and it helps to separate the mask from the backing. You can also, oops, use your take your pick tool. Didn't have that locked in. And just put it right between the two layers. And there's our mask. So we're going to put that right there for now. And then I'm going to take a piece of cardstock, and we're going to stamp the image again. Now that's the image that we want to appear as though it's in front of this image. It's this image right here. So we're going to put the mask over it. Just like that. Ink up our stamp again. And we'll stamp this one right here. We'll peel off the mask. If it wants to come off. There we go. And there's our image. This one is behind this one. Now, of course, when I was making the cards, I was able to use the same mask over and over because for whatever reason, then I didn't rip my mask. But you can use this mask several times. Now, if you do not have masking paper, another thing you can use is a Post-it note and kind of stamp your image along the sticky part. If that's not enough sticky for you, you can use a temporary adhesive on the back, or you can even put a little bit of liquid glue, like the Tombow. double multi-purpose. Just put a little bit of liquid glue on it, and let's see, we'll just put it right here. A little bit of liquid glue, just like that, and kind of tap it a few times with your finger, and it will still be sticky, but it won't be sticky enough that it will leave much of a place. Although sometimes if you're going to color over the image, it can cause a problem. So I wouldn't recommend that, but you can do that to hold something in place. I'm not sure it's the best for masking, but some people do have success with that. Also, sometimes I have just put the mask down and kind of held it with my finger while I stamped. That works. But what works best for me, what I really like and was so excited about Stampin' Up! Carrying, was the masking paper. So that is how I masked the images. Now, how did I do the sentiment? Get another piece of paper, and we'll get the sentiment. And for the Holy Guacamole, all I did, I took washi tape. You can use painter's tape. I have even on occasion used just plain old Scotch tape. And I put the tape over the part of the sentiment I do not want to ink. In this case, it's your birthday. And then I just got my ink, applied it, remove the tape, and stamp. There we go. So instead of that whole sentiment, we just had the part we wanted. And let me clean this stamp off, and we will always stamp it to make sure any residue, stamp it on paper, make sure any residue is gone. Now we're going to just do It's Your Birthday. So we cover up the Holy Guacamole, and we get our ink, ink the stamp, remove our mask, and stamp It's Your Birthday. It's really small, isn't it? Small print. So if you wanted to just have It's Your or Your Birthday, then you would mask the Holy Guacamole and It's Your, and you would just have the birthday. Or you can mask the Holy Guacamole and birthday, and you would just have It's Your. It's just that simple. So now that we know how we did the masking, we'll move on to the backgrounds in these cards. And they're all very similar. On some of them I used this little stamp with the candies, and on some I used the stamp with the tortillas and the bowls of guacamole. And each of these little squares of cardstock are 1 3/4 by 2 1/2, and that will be on my blog. And here we go with them. Here's our image that we have masked the images and the sentiment. And then I've stamped these. And here we have, see, we need some guacamole stamped on this one. I need to reach across and get my ink. I forgot to get my ink pad out. And we'll stamp some of the little bowls of guacamole on our orange pumpkin pie piece of cardstock. Always stamp off the edge a little bit. Then I try to get one that's a whole one here and there. There we go. That's all ready for adhesive. And the way I did this, when you add, if you were to put all these together, they equal a piece of cardstock that's 3 3/4 by 5. So if we're really careful to place these, you can measure them out if you want. I just usually eyeball it. We can get them to where there's a fairly equal border. Maybe not exactly equal, but fairly equal. And then we'll take our adhesive. And what I do, I just do one at a time. Get them all lined up, take one off. Then line it up with the ones that are remaining there on the card. Move to the next one. And get it lined up with the one below it and beside it. There we go. Move to the next one. Just repeat that process. And then to the last one. There we go. And then our focal image, we have some dimensionals on the back. We'll just remove the backings. There we go, there's the front of our card. And I have already completed the inside with some guacamole and some of those chips. So there we have another birthday card. There we go, there is the Taco Fiesta stamp set and some of the cards that I've made using it. And I will probably do some more videos using some of the other images in the stamp set. I have an idea for this little piñata. We'll see how that works out. But for now, we have these cards and the masking techniques. Once again, more information about these cards and the supplies and masking can be found on my blog post, and that blog post will be found, the link to it will be found in the description of this video. Thank you so much for joining me today. Until next time, stamp happy.